Okay, so there is a ton of info out there on how to query. And all this information is great, but it can be a little bit overwhelming. And it seems like there are so many ways to write a query, so many ways it could go wrong, it can be difficult to know where to even begin. The truth is there are many correct or effective ways to open a query. There is no one silver bullet foolproof method that works every time. Okay, maybe there's one. All right, to start, let's keep it simple. Let's open with a salutation. Dear. Dear what? Dear the agent's name. Avoid dear sirs or to whom it may concern. Use the agent's name and spell it properly so the agent knows that you are really interested in working with them. Now it's time for your pitch. And that's right, you can dive right into your pitch. All the other info, say your bio or how much you like this agent, that can all come later. Remember, agents read dozens of queries a day, sometimes 50 or 60 at a sitting if we're really behind. So our eyes jump right to that pitch. We want to know what your book is, what it's about, so we can find out whether or not we think it's saleable. So you can go right from Dear John into here's my book. Now let's get to the pitch itself. Think of it a little bit like algebra. Hold on, don't go anywhere. I'm not going to do math. Think of your query in this model. X is Y until Z, where X is your main character and Y is the situation or scenario they find themselves in at the start of the novel. We'll get to Z in a second. So for example, if your X is Luke Skywalker, your Y might be, is a listless young man stuck on a backwater planet. Or if your X is Harry Potter, your Y might be, is a sad young British boy who's forced to live under the stairs by his evil aunt and uncle. Now we define our last variable, Z. Z is your inciting incident, the moment, action, or choice without which there could be no story. So let's go back to our examples. Luke is a listless young farm boy on a backwater planet until he meets a robot containing a secret message from a beautiful princess. Harry is a sad young British boy forced to live under the stairs until he finds out he's a wizard. The pitch is as simple as that. Now notice, I don't have all the information about my story right there in the pitch. There's going to be time later in the query to go into more detail. But what I have conveyed is the main character, the backdrop, which also tells us a lot about the genre, as well as the setup for the story, the thing that makes it a story. Let's look at all the information conveyed just in the first 2 lines of your query if you use this model. As an agent reading your query, I now know the following things from just the 2 opening lines. I know you've done your research and you know who you're querying. I know you care enough to spell my name right, so you probably aren't sloppy or unprofessional. You've queried enough to know an agent is most interested in the pitch first, which tells me you've got some experience pursuing your writing career. Also, you've shown me you know how to be concise, which is a great quality in a writer. Now looking at your pitch, I now know who the main character is, but I also know the backdrop of your story, whether it's set in our world, a fantastical realm, or in outer space, which pretty much tells me the genre. I know the inciting incident, which should pretty much tell me everything else I need to know about the genre and even the intended audience. And now I also have a sense of the hook of the story, what makes it unique and different from others. Now the final elements that absolutely must be in your query opening are, of course, your title, your word count, and if possible, your market. Usually when folks query me, they're either asking me to represent their young adult or middle grade novel, so their query line might say something like, X is young adult novel of 50,000 words, or Y is a middle grade novel of 25,000 words. Now with this opening, you have plenty of room to add more detail to your query further down. You can add more information about how the plot develops or how the conflict gets worse, stuff about subplots, and you can also put in a paragraph, a short one, describing you, why you wrote this book, your writing credits, your author bio, essentially. But when tackling the opening of your query, all the information out there on the internet, videos like this one, can be a little bit overwhelming. So if you ever feel yourself uncertain of how to start, just remember, X is Y until Z. Hey guys, if you like this video and you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe. We're going to be posting lots more content on the craft and business of writing here at Agent Brain Writer Brain. And if you think of any other interesting ways to open a query, why don't you put them down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.